What was the best "you have no power here" moment you have ever seen? 1. Class simulations always make politics fascinating, lol. When I was in grade 8, we were learning about the Russian Revolution, and our teacher did a thing where one student could be czar for the day. They got to sit at the front of the classroom in the teacher's chair and hold a Sailor Moon scepter that lit up, plus they got one special privilege to exercise during that period. Usually, it was that another student would take notes for them or they could skip a small assignment, but one of the popular goofy kids decided he wanted to go out in the hallway and have his friends take a running start and fling him as fast as they could down the hall in the teacher's rolling chair. The teacher allowed it, nobody was hurt, but for some reason we weren't allowed to do czar for the day anymore. The point is, that was an awesome idea to make a boring unit more engaging. 15 years later, I still remember a lot about that class and Russian history because of how fun that class was. 2. We had an HR lady who was extremely power hungry. She is walking around with the president of the company who flew in from Japan. She rushes him through the warehouse, just spits out, "Oh, these are the warehouse guys, we don't have to stop and talk to them." He stops, walks over, and starts talking to me about my last vacation, how buying my house went. You could just see her fuming behind him as we talked for almost 45 minutes. I've had multiple meetings with him, we knew each other really well. I don't think he liked her and dragged it out on purpose, but I was thrilled to see her just standing there bored as hell. 3. When I was working customer service for a restaurant delivery service, not unlike DoorDash, I had a customer send in a complaint about hair in their food. The hair was sitting on top of the food. I checked their account, and they had one order on their account, which is a red flag. I checked their phone number and find multiple accounts, each with 1 to 2 orders, all of them complaining about hair in the food. I deny a refund because the customer has actually used the same identical photo from the last order since they ordered the same thing. The customer tries to argue with me, threatens to never use the service again, typical stuff that they always say. Eventually, the customer gives up and ends the call, then immediately tries again. I get the support request, see who it is, then deny the refund again. She ends the call, then tries again. The person behind me gets the call. I tap the person on the shoulder and show them what I pulled up on my screen, and that person denies the refund. The next day, she calls back and tries again and is now outside of the refund window. So the customer demands to speak to a supervisor. The supervisor bans her from the service for multiple fraudulent refund requests. 4. A coworker friend of mine was flying back from a sales conference in Vegas. He was able to upgrade to a first-class seat. We had this bitchy sales VP who was on the same flight. She was the snobby, entitled type with a full-time nanny and a giant McMansion in the suburbs, and she generally treated people who worked for her like servants. She sees him in a first-class seat as she is making her way to coach and asks him how he got that seat. He used points to upgrade. As people are getting settled in, she makes her way back up to the first-class cabin and asks to speak with the lead flight attendant. She tells him that one of her underlings is sitting in first class and that she needs to switch with him since she's higher on the corporate ladder. The guy can't believe what he's hearing, but she won't take no for an answer. Finally, he tells her she has to go back to her seat or she will be escorted from the plane. She made a complete ass of herself in front of the whole first-class cabin.